Well, he's going to get a third term. So Trump 28, Trump is going to be president in 28, and people just ought to get accommodated with that.
So what about the 22nd Amendment?
There's many different alternatives. At the appropriate time, we'll lay out what the plan is.
Trump advisor Steve Bannon telling editors of The Economist magazine that people need to get accommodated to President Trump serving a third term. Here's what the 22nd Amendment of the Constitution says about that. Quote, no person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice. But Bannon says he has a plan. We'll see about that. There's already plenty to be concerned about with the 2026 midterm election and the Trump administration staffing up with election deniers. Elections officials across the country have taken notice. Arizona's top elections official, Democratic Secretary of State Adrian joins us now with his reaction. Welcome back to Square Off.
Thanks for having me back, Bram.
Good to see you. Let's start with what's happening at the national level with elections. This is a headline from the New York Times from the past week. You can take a look at it on the screen. Trump empowers election deniers, still fixated on 2020 grievances. Here's the sub-headline. The president has placed proponents of his false claims into government jobs while dismantling systems built to secure voting, raising fears that he aims to seize authority over the elections ahead of next year's midterms. Now, the Times revealed there was a conference call last month with secretaries of state or elections officials from almost all 50 states.
Yep.
Were you on that call? Was your team on that call?
So the National Association of Secretaries of State was asked by the Department of Homeland Security and their new election specialist, or whatever title they gave this person, to have a call. And I wasn't personally on the call. We had staff. Most of my colleagues had either staff or they were on the call personally, secretaries from across the country, and they were not impressed. We're not exactly sure what it is that this person intends to do with that office. It's kind of like you're getting somebody from, a freshman baseball team to try to run the major leagues. It's just, and the freshman from high school to try to run a major league team. It's just not sensible. I think this person has already proven that they're not worthy of this office. So we'll see how things develop.
This person is Heather Honey, I believe.
Yeah.
Put in charge of election integrity. We know her here in Arizona. She testified at Kari Lake's challenge of her defeat in 2022, did other work here, is well known to folks in the election denial world here. One of the things that alarmed the people on that call was her use she invoked, said the Trump administration could invoke a national emergency to take control of elections.
Yeah, that's bonkers. Look, if there's anything that we know, it's that Americans will not cancel elections. We will have our elections. We had elections during the Civil War. In fact, that's when ballot by mail voting started. We had elections during the Spanish flu, during COVID-19. We had elections when Hurricane Sandy had devastated communities across the eastern seaboard. In fact, the one major time that we saw a slight postponement was a municipal primary in New York City immediately following September 11th. They didn't cancel it. They just moved it because of the devastation there. Americans don't cancel elections. We are too resilient. We're too rough. And it doesn't matter. Hurricanes, earthquakes, natural disasters, war, we will not cancel our elections. This is a point of pride for this American republic. It is something that has separated us from all of the other democracies in the rest of the world who have snap elections and weird parliamentary moves that they make. We are dependable in that way. And I take a lot of pride in the folks who run American elections to push back against this nonsense that is coming out of the Trump administration.
Fair enough, but this is the kind of administration this country has never seen.
Well, but they don't get to make this call. This is not the purview of the White House.
You're not concerned about a national emergency being declared?
I am concerned, but they don't have the capacity. We still operate under the rule of law. This is not a kingdom. This is not an authoritarian regime that we have, although it aspires to be. This is the United States of America, and the Constitution is very clear. The states will determine the time, place, and manner. That's in Article 1, Section 4 of the Constitution. We run elections. We report results up to the federal. Now, Congress has a role in running our elections. The Help America Vote Act, the Voting Rights Act, the Civil Rights Act. These are all important major themes that occupy space for all of the states. But the time, place, and manner of elections is the state's purview. We are a federal republic under this Constitution, and the states will not back down to the federal government, regardless of who is in power.
And you would anticipate that holding through 2026 and perhaps a showdown with the Trump administration?
We're almost 250 years into this federal republic, Bram, and I intend, at least on my watch, to help it get to the next 250.
All right. Let's move on to another election issue. There is an Arizona Independent Party in the state right
there is.
now.
Yes.
Tell us about that, how it came to be, and what its potential impact could be on the vote in 2026.
Well, Arizona has a very progressive constitution. It was created in the progressive era. Our statutes are very open to the First Amendment freedom of association. Folks can create political parties. A couple of years ago, we saw the No Labels Party get created. The folks who are operating that organization came to my office and said, we want to change our name. I could not say no. There's no space for me to say no because, again, I believe in the law. And so they said, here's our new name. So the former No Labels Party is going to change its name effective December 1 of this year. We will work with the county recorders across the state to make sure that we get the administration of that all worked out. But the impact that it could have is really interesting because there are a lot of folks out there who will write independent or IND intending not to be affiliated with any political party. The official denominator in Arizona is party not declared, PND. So we're going to have to work some of these technical issues out. We're depending on the registrars of voters, who are our 15 independently elected county recorders, to get us the input that we need. We're going to be working with them here real soon to make sure that we get this all worked out. But as of 1 December 2025, the No Labels Party will become the Arizona Independent Party with all the rights and responsibilities thereunto pertaining.
I want to understand what you just said about registration. So it sounds like it's possible that voters could unintentionally register themselves with this party?
No, we're working to make sure that that does not happen. We don't want folks to be in a position where they consider themselves independent of a party and inadvertently get slotted with the independent party, because that's an actual party. So we're going to make sure that we do everything we can to help educate voters, make sure everything is squared away in the systems, and that a lot of that duty, of course, falls to the registrars in our counties, and we're going to do everything we can to help move that conversation, get a clear rule for voters so we can avoid any confusion as we move forward.
Very interesting. Real quick, one more concern about 2026. The Maricopa County Recorder and Maricopa County Board are feuding right now. They need to work together on the election in 2026. How concerned are you that that conflict could harm the running of the election?
Well, look, there is a natural tension built in between the executive branch and the legislative branch of government at the federal, state, local, county, and municipal levels. I think this tension between the executive, the county recorder, and the legislative board of supervisors is part of that natural tension. I hope they can get it worked out, but I can assure you I will be doing my best Pontius Pilate impersonation, staying out of that local politics, except as it pertains to the administration of the election. I believe in the professionals at Maricopa County who do the on-the-ground work. It's a great team, many of whom worked for Recorder Richer, Recorder Fontes when I was there, and even Recorder Purcell. It's a solid team at Maricopa County in spite of what sometimes happens with the politics among the electeds.
All right, got to end it there. Secretary of State Adrian Fontes, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.